David, what's your favourite game so far out of all the 9 that have been picked in the first 3 rounds?
Great question. So I think I'm going to give you a 2-pronged answer because I'm going to sit on the fence. I think probably the best game, objectively, is perhaps Resident Evil 4 Remake, Remaster, whatever that one is.
Okay.
I think my favourite, however, that has been picked so far, I might go Resident Evil 2 Remake. I love that game. Yeah, I love that game.
I'm with you there. But no, I think... I don't know.
What are we going for? You're going to have to make your picks now that you've made me make mine.
I've got a 3 of Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 02. All originals.
KDB?
It's always going to be the original Resident Evil 2. I think it's perfect. I think it still stands up today. I think when we covered that game on First Aid Spray, it was like I genuinely got emotional, and I was like, I know so much of this is nostalgia, and this is because I played it when I was younger, and it was sort of at that point in your life where it really sticks with you. But I genuinely believe, within the context of the game, of it existing in the time, comparing to games existing in the time today, like the modern versions, the modern remake and stuff, I don't think any modern game ticks as many boxes as the original ticks within those same categories. Of that time. You can say, oh, Remake 2 has better graphics. Of course it does, but there's no point saying that. But if you compare it within the context of the time it exists, and what it achieved and what it was doing. And I think even if you play the original Resident Evil 2 today, it still has the effect that it has, that it had all those years ago.
I absolutely adore it. I can't wait for David to play it.
It's absolutely my favourite.
How do you think that sort of compare? And I know this is like low-hanging fruit, but I do think it's relevant. Like, how do you think that compares to someone who would be coming at this game for the first time, like tank controls and all? The reason I ask is that I've sort of learned to love tank controls, but when Alex and I started embarked upon this Resident Evil bonanza, it's something I really struggled with initially.
It is like the only sticking point, and because I know people that are perfectly competent and in games these days, and you think, oh, they'll be able to do anything, they just can't. They can't get on with it, and they outright, they're just like, oh, it's terrible because of this. But it's not terrible because of it. It's just, it is unfortunate, and that is maybe the only caveat.
So it's time. It's not necessarily like a thing you would beat it over the head with, but I think if you're coming to it.
Yeah. I think you should just, if you can train yourself, if you can spend some time with tank controls, if they're really an issue to you. It's odd to me that tank controls would be an issue to anyone of our age who was playing video games back in the day. So I get it. I absolutely get it. And I've said, so Resident Evil 4 has tank controls, and I take massive issue with that because I don't think tank controls work well with over the shoulder. It's fine, but I don't think tank controls work better with the fixed camera because you can see what you're doing. Whereas with the over the shoulder sort of locked to the ground, turning like this, it grinds my gears a little bit, which is why I love the remake of Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
More than the original, which I know some people think is crazy to say, but so I can understand people going to the original Resident Evils and not getting on with tank controls, but yeah, personally for me, it's just not even. Yeah,
I think once you've got those fixed camera angles involved, they just make the most sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I say, I've sort of learned to sort of get on with them and quite like them now. But like I was sort of messing about. Alex was watching me play Resident Evil, whatever we're playing for the podcast, and the thing there was it obviously was annoying Alex is because I was not using the tank controls. I kept like running to a different screen, and then my character would just like turn around and run back.
Then run back,
because I wasn't using the tank controls.
Oh yeah, it wasn't annoying me. I just thought you're going to make this so much harder for yourself when shit hits the fan if that's doing that, which it does to me as well. Like it feels exactly the same for me. I just don't think it makes sense in it for that to be the way you control games like that.